Hello everyone, welcome to Recursive Gaming and the next video in our series for Monster Super League, free-to-play guide for early game players. Alright, so I'm actually going to, before I continue questing and moving through the story and unlocking new stuff, I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing for my team that I'm going to be using for the content. We did that 10+1 pool, right? We completed the first chapter, and because of that we have a few copies of Miho. What I did was I went through all my copies of Miho and I looked for square gems. Alright, so she's only got one square gem. She has none, right? This water Miho only has one. I want this fire Miho to be the one that I take to Evo 2 first because I'm going to be using it in the story, and it's got 2 square gem slots. All right, so just in case I never get a Miho that has 3 squares, this will be the one that I take to Evo 3. So I locked it, I unlocked the rest, and we're going to go ahead and use them as fodder to awaken and evolve our chosen 2 square slot fire Miho to Evo 2. Okay. So I think it's important to show you guys multiple times the Evo process and how you select which monsters to Evo, which ones are worth keeping, so on and so forth, right, as you're progressing through the story. So Minicat is a great unit. It boosts everyone's HP on your team. So this is the same skill as our Water Persephone. If you did not pull Water Persephone, or if in your selective summons you chose a Fire Shinobi, a Wood Garuda, or a Fire Sha Wuje, I believe it is, instead, one of those top 3, then if you get a Fire Minicat, it does the same exact thing, right? So this is excellent. Definitely lock this guy. If you're going into a dungeon where Water Persephone is the bad element, right? So if you're going into a wood dungeon and she's getting killed really fast, even though she's a tank, then you can raise and use Fire Minicat instead. Because, again, it has the same exact skill. So you build it the exact same way. Make sure you Evo 3 it, make sure you get it leveled up and put nothing but HP on it. It'll do a really good job, just like Water Persephone. So that's really a lucky summon. If I did not have Water Persephone, you better believe I'd be putting this Fire Minicat on my team. So, excellent. If you guys come up against the same problem, if you see that skill, attacks restore allies HP in amount equal to 10% of own max HP on the skill number 3, the first skill. If you see that, definitely use it if you don't have a Water Persephone like I do. So, that's useful for pointing out. So, the rest of our team, we have 1 and 2. I need 2 more monsters for my team. Who else am I going to take? Kira is a healer, not interested. Don't need another healer. I already have a Water Persephone, so I'm not going to use Fire Minicat. Don't need Cupid. He's a healer. We could use Yuki, a balanced type, and she's going to be exposing weakness on the enemy, which is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. We could take Banshee. She's an attacker, right? And this is actually my pick. I think I'm going to take Banshee. And the reason why I'm going to take Banshee is because she has morale boost. She increases her own SP by 30% every time she attacks with skill 1, which means that she uses her skill 3 or her skill 2 more often. Also, she hits all enemies. This is what we call a wave clearer. A wave clearer is very effective for pushing through waves of monsters, which is what you want your PvE team to do. As an early game player, you want to build wave clearers. You need 1 healer and you need wave clearers, and that's it, okay? And that's going to be most of the early game, is using wave clearers. So anytime you find morale boost with an ultimate or a second skill that hits all enemies, that is the ticket. That's what you want. So, unfortunately, it's a Nat 4 monster, so I can't Evo 2 it, and I can't Evo 3 it because I don't have enough copies. I'll use it for now until I get a better Nat 3 monster that I can Evo 2 and Evo 3. So, even though this is a great monster, it's going to get replaced as soon as I get something that I can Evo with more copies. Okay, so I'm not going to use this Nat 4 even though it's good, because if it's stuck at Evo 1, it's useless. Okay, in general, in this game, if you've got a great Nat 4 and a great Nat 5, it's still useless and it sits on your shelf if you can't Evo it up. So you need multiple copies of units, guys. That's what makes this game unique. Alright, so I'll be using the Banshee for now. And what else am I going to take? I could take the Scorus. I have an Evo 2 Scorus, which is not bad. I might do that. But then again, it has 2 square slots and I'm going to be looking for multiple square slots. But I'm not going to be capturing more Scoruses for a while. Tell you what, guys. Let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the Scorer for now, just in case I don't get a better one. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Evo 3 a Scorer for you guys first thing in this video before I move on. All right, so I'll do that. You guys can see that, and then we'll continue with the rest of the video. But I'll be using Water Persephone, Fire Miho, Wood Banshee, and Wood Scorer on my team. And my goal is to capture more Scorers and get an Evo 3 Scorer as soon as possible. And I'll show that to you guys. I could take this guy, the Phibian. He's self-sustaining though. I don't really need a self-sustain unit because I have Water Persephone healing the team. It's nice to have self-sustain, but I would rather this would be morale boost. So let's see. He does not have morale boost on any of his elements. So unfortunately, I will not be using Phibian because he's not a wave clearer. Again, we need morale boost on the skill 1, and then we need an ultimate skill 2 that hits all enemies. That's what we're looking for, guys. Wave clearers, okay? Now, you might be wondering, why am I using this guy if he's not a wave clearer? Why am I building an Evo 3 Scorer? Well, because he's cheap, right? He's only a Nat 2. It's cheap to find copies of him. It's cheap to Evo him. It's cheap to ascend him. He's a super cheap unit that you can get early on, and he has defense down at a 60% chance for 2 turns on skill 1. All right. Also, he has defense down for a very low chance on the entire enemy team on skill 2. So he's not the best unit, but Scorer Nat 2 at Evo 3 is going to be better than a Nat 4 at Evo 1. Again, let me say that again, guys. Okay, I would rather use the Scorer if it was Evo 3 than the Banshee if it was stuck at Evo 1. So Evo 3 is that big of a deal. The stat boost is that big of a deal. So because he's so cheap to Evo 3, that's what makes this a good starting unit for you guys as a free-to-play early game players, okay? So definitely recommend Evo 3ing Scorer as soon as you possibly can. It's going to be a great choice for your team. It's going to help you guys out in the early game. So anyways, let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll resume the video. Okay guys, here we are halfway through Lunar Valley, and part of doing all these quests, they had us do the Starstone Dungeon B1. You'll do it as well when you get to this point. It forces you to. So now it wants us to catch an Astromon 1 time. So we come to the part where the next Scorer comes from. Now, keep in mind, I only have a 2 square gem green Scorer, or wood Scorer, right? I don't want to use the fire Scorer. I don't like the skills as much, right? He is a balanced type. I'd rather have an attacker type. So the wood type is an attacker type. This is balanced. So I like the wood one better than the fire one because of that. However, there is the element to consider. Remember I said wood element is at a disadvantage in the first golem dungeon that you want to farm, Golems 8. Golem 8 is a fire type, so you want to take fire mons in there, but you can also take, so you want to take water monsters in there, right? So that way they have an advantage against the fire element. However, you can also take fire monsters into Golems B8. And as long as they're tanky enough, or as long as you have a good healer, which we do, then it'll be okay. So there is some thought to taking a fire element Scorer, so that way it's not wasted resources. By Evo 3ing a Scorer fire element, that means it is usable in Golem 8, and it won't be a waste of resources. So I'm actually going to raise Fire Scorer this time around, where normally I recommend the wood one, but the wood one isn't usable in your first Golems team. So it's kind of a waste, and I basically don't use it after I get to that point. Which you get to that point for like day 3 or 4 of your account, so you only Evo 3 a Scorer and then use it for the first like quarter of the story, not even that. And after that it's useless, you probably never use it again. So get the fire one instead, and that way you're more likely to be able to use it in your first Golems team without feeling like you wasted the resources on this guy. So I'll be raising a fire Scorer, and you get those here for the first time in Lunar Valley in this last section, in this last half. 4 missions. So I need to get, let's see, I only have an Evo 2 wood one, and I can use the wood one and all the wood ones I have already as food to make this fire Scorer Evo 3. It doesn't have to be the same element. So all I need is at least a 2 square, hopefully a 3 square fire Scorer, and I'm good to go. I only need 9 more copies of Scorer. I only need to capture 9 of these guys, and I can make an Evo 3. Because I already have an Evo 2 plus 3 more copies, which is 4 plus 3 is 7, right? And 7 plus 9 is 16. So I need 9 more and then I can make an Evo 3. So I'll be capturing fire ones instead of wood ones, and then I'll be raising a fire one to Evo 3, and hopefully using it for my first Golem 8 team. So that's what we're going to do now. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Alright guys, we did it. Here in Lunar Valley on the EXP bonus number 6, I collected 9 of these fire scorers. And now I'm going to go back and continue the quest line, along with showing you guys Evo 3ing the Scorer. I could do my last free summons of the day. I've done 2 of 3. I have 1 more left for a trinket and a monster. I'll do that off screen. As you can see, I completed more of my capture guide. So I did Lunar Valley collection. I've collected everything but the candle. So that's all that's left. We'll go ahead and get free gems. Why not? I do have an Evo 2 Miho that I decided to do before I started questing because, hey, it's good to have stronger units for questing. I showed you guys in the video a little earlier. I chose the square gem one that I had access to. This one's only 1 square, so the Evo 2 that I've got is already stronger, so it's okay. That's good. Let's take a look at these scorers and see which one of them is best. 1 square, 2 square, 2 square, no square, no square, 2 square, 1 square, 1 square, 1 square. Okay, so which scorer are we going to use? I could use the diamond. The diamonds can only roll, are the only shape that can roll crit damage, but I'm not really going to be using crit damage on this guy. Going to be just, you know, HP attack, or HP attack defense or something. Basically a little bit of tank, a little bit of attack. Not really going to be building it for crit or anything special like that. So I don't really care if it's either a triangle or a diamond. But let's go for diamond, just because I like diamond. Okay, so you don't need to make your variant the one you take to Evo 2 or Evo 3, guys. This is important, and this is why this is in the video. I didn't care about using this variant, because watch what happens here. When I evolve this guy, I will use the variant, if I can find it. Okay, I will use the variant, off element too, by the way. So different element, and it's a variant, and then I'll go ahead and finish it up here. We'll awaken. Look what happens after I finish evolving to Evo 2. The one that I chose because I had two square slots is now a variant. So as long as you have a variant in the Evo process here, it takes on the variant when it completes. Okay, so it didn't start as a variant, but now it's a variant because I used a variant when I Evo'd him. Okay, so that is how you can make, you know, your monster a variant. You don't have to use the variant to Evo. You can choose any of them, and as long as you use the variant in the Evo, he becomes a variant. That's important. So this guy only had 1 square slot. I was not stuck using him. Did not want to use him, and I didn't have to. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue. I'll go ahead and do this again so you guys can make sure you understand. Again, I'll do it off element so you can see it doesn't have to be the same element. I will use a green scorus or a wood scorus, and I will use 2 fire ones. Or actually, we'll just, you know, make sure we mix it up. Nope, not what I wanted. There we go. A red, a green, and here, another red. And this is a variant. He's not a variant here. He's a variant here. Okay? Pretty important stuff. Really good to know so you don't end up wasting units, or so you don't end up choosing a rare Nat 4 or a rare Nat 5, you know, because of a variant or not a variant. Now you know that it doesn't matter if it's a variant. You can use that to make another one who's not a variant. You can turn it into a variant. So anyways, now you know. We're going to unlock that guy. This is the one we're going to raise, so I only need 1 more Evo 2. It looks like I might have captured 1 too many. I miscalculated there. I have 1 too many, but that's okay. That's okay, because I'm going to show you guys something else in just a second. So it's not bad to have extra fodder. It's not bad to catch extra mons because you get something back for it. All right, so we come here, and look, I have 1 Evo 2, the one I plan on using. He's locked. And these other Evo 2s. So what happens if you combine 2 variants? What if I have a variant and I Evo another variant into him? All that happens is he takes on the highest level variant. So if he's level 2, nothing's going to happen at all. This is going to be a variant wasted. That's okay because I'm only planning on raising 1 Scorer. I'm not going to raise multiple. So I don't need to save this variant for a different element or something. So it's okay that this variant is wasted. The leader skill, okay? It's a level 1 leader skill. It's going to be absorbed into the level 2 leader skill. If, however, it was the opposite, the one I wanted to keep was only level 1, and the one I was feeding into him was level 2, it would turn his into a level 2. So that's how that works. So let's go ahead and take these in. Okay. We'll awaken, and here you get to see me Evo 3, my first monster. And he's a variant type, so he has interesting coloring. There we go. A squirrel. Leader type. Evo 3 Fire Squirrier. Nice. I know I'm going to be using this now, so I'm going to go ahead and put gems on him. I was waiting to put gems on him because I wasn't sure which one I was going to use to make Evo 3. So, I'm going to be keeping him for a while, and I'm planning on doing damage with him. He's a balance type, so like I said, I want to do a mix of attack and HP. So here, this is attack. I'll go ahead and put that on him. And here, this is crit rate and attack. I don't really care about the crit rate. No, I'm going to save the crit rate for somebody else. No, here's crit rate as well. Okay, so that crit rate can go. So I'll go ahead and put... Oh, I don't have any HP. That's unfortunate. So I can't really put any HP or defense gems on him. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the crit rate and the attack. That's fine. So he's going to be lacking a little bit in defense and HP because I didn't have any of those gems to put on him. And I did want to complete the set for the free 2500 HP. At this low level, it does matter. Later on, it doesn't, but right now it does. Okay, so might as well put this on him. I'm going to be keeping him in the team for a while, so it's okay to invest a little bit of resources. I can just get these back. If I just click on unequip, I can pay some gold and get that back, so it's not like it's disappeared forever. Same with any runes I raise. If I upgrade these runes, I can just unequip them and save them. It's not like they're stuck on him or anything like that. So it won't be wasted. Okay, so I do want to ascend him, but he needs to be level 20. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and spend some gold and some fruits and make him level 20. Okay, I needed to do that for the quest anyway. So let's go ahead and complete the quest. These are free, but it's off element. I'd rather use those on a wood monster and get the increased experience. So I'm going to be using these because I don't have any fire fruits. So I actually don't want to do that because I don't need to use all three. So I'll use one at a time. I'll use one, and he's already level 19. Oh no, he's level 14. One more will take him to level 19. All right, so then I'll use these to finish him off so I don't use and waste experience. Okay, so he can't be leveled up any further. Now I can ascend him. We, as part of the quest, had to do the Starstone dungeon twice, so we have enough Starstones to go ahead and ascend him, paying 30,000 gold. Okay, that will make him a 3-star. And when he's a 3-star, it evolves his first skill. So because he was a 2-star, whenever he used his auto attack, he was not putting attack down on the enemy. This was never happening. Now that he's a 3-star and I just ascended him, now this is going to be happening. Every time he auto attacks, he's going to have a chance to put he's going to have a 60% chance to put attack down on the enemy for 1 turn. Not that important, not that big a deal, but it's worth noting. It's a mechanic that you need to know for your monsters in the future. This Nat 4 is not 5-star, so it does not benefit from this. Okay, it does not benefit from that on the second skill until you get it to 5-star. Because she's a 5-star, she does benefit from this. Okay, so useful to keep that stuff in mind. All right, so I think we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and increase the level of these gems. I have extra gold, but not enough extra gold that I'm not worried about it. Okay, also because of his low level, these gems aren't going to be doing very much. These stats are so low that an extra couple of percentage isn't going to help all that much. Tell you what, because he's so level, it's not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about enhancing these gems on him until he's like 4-star, close to level 30 or 40. At that point, I might upgrade his gems. But for now, it wouldn't be worth the gold. He wouldn't get much benefit because his stats are so low. So he needs to level up before that's a thing. Okay, but I did that, right? And he's usable in Golems B8 now, if I feel like it. I may not use him in Golems B8, but at least it's an option. All right, so I did put gems on her already. I didn't enhance them really. That one was already enhanced by the quest. I put low-level gems on her. I could have put the attack set on her, but she's a tank and she has mostly HP. I'd rather be boosting her survivability with HP and defense and stuff like that. So No, anyways, that's going to be the team. It's going to be Persephone, the new Squirrel, Evo 3, the Evo 2 Ran, and then I think that's it for now. I'll just continue using the Banshee for now. So I'll go ahead and put a couple of runes on her just to make her a little bit better, because I am going to planning on keeping her in the team for a while until I get something better. So we'll do that. She'll get some extra defense. Now she has extra defense and a little bit of extra HP, so that's good. All right, so let's come down here. Level, or not level, but 2-star and 1-star monsters that you don't want to keep because they're not going to help you. You're not going to raise them. You just got them for the Astro Guide, right? That's the only reason you captured them, was to complete a quest or for the Astro Guide. Click on them and you can come down here and click on release. Okay, you get a benefit for releasing them. If you don't want to do them one at a time, which I don't recommend because it takes forever, click on storage. Okay, and then you scroll down and you click on them. Make sure you select all the ones you want, and then click here on release, and I'm going to release all 7 of them at the same time. Boom, just like that. Look at all the stuff I got. Free stuff. Fruits and some gold. And that's because they were 1 and 2 stars. When you release 3-star monsters and above, you get some really good stuff. So guys, there is a reason to capture monsters, and there is a reason to summon. Nothing is wasted. Let's say you don't want to use this type of monster ever, right? It's not wasted. Just because you summoned it and you didn't want it, it's not a big deal. Watch what happens when I release this guy. Okay, I got this stuff. This is Essence. This stuff is used for when you get max level 60 monsters, you can enhance their stats further. Okay, so I didn't realize this. I did this, okay? When I first started my account, I come over here to summon, and I did rebirthing, okay? Right here. This is changing in about 8 hours. We're going to get a different set of monsters to rebirth. These are the monsters that it can turn into. Every time I put 5 Nat 3s up here, it turns into one of these monsters. The reason people do rebirthing is not for these monsters, right? These lats, they do it to get the light dark versions. You can get a light lat, a dark lat, a light Mona, and a dark Mona. So this was a really good rebirth, right? So you do want to spend 30 times 5. How many is that? It's 150, right? Yeah, I think so. So 150 Nat 3 monsters go in to earn this egg, which gives you a guaranteed light or dark, lat or Mona. That is a lot of Nat 3s, guys. So when you're coming in here to rebirth, don't just do this to free up space in your inventory so that you can summon more monsters, which is what I did. In my previous account, I had a lot of gems to spend. They give you a lot of free summons in the game, so I summoned and I summoned and I summoned, and I ran out of space for my monsters in my monster box. And so to free up space on my monster box, I came here to rebirth and I rebirthed all my monsters. And I got some decent monsters out of it. But what if this had been a bad month to rebirth? What if the monsters I was going to earn weren't worth it? That would have been a lot of Nat 3s wasted. And it's just Nat 3s. You get lots of Nat 3s through the life of the game, right? Well, later on, when you've been playing the game for a while and you've got lots of monsters, it won't matter as much. But for an early game free-to-play player, it means a lot. And the reason why is because you need the essence from releasing your monsters to enhance your monsters when they hit level 60. So don't just go into the rebirth to free up spots in your monster box. Make sure that when you're rebirthing, it's going to be worth it, guys. If it's not, you're actually getting so much when you release your monsters. You get so much out of it, okay, that it's not worth giving this up just to, you know, have a chance to free up your monster box to summon some more. Make sure the rebirth is worth it. Otherwise, I recommend releasing them. Release the monsters you don't want if you're not going to rebirth them. And that gives you essence, which you desperately need at endgame. When I get Persephone to level 60, I'll need to enhance her to give her additional stats. If I have not released monsters, if I've spent all my monsters rebirthing, I won't have any essence and I'll be screwed. So don't just rebirth to free up space like I did. Make sure that it's worth it, and if it's not, make sure you're releasing to get that essence, because the essence is worth it, guys. So all right, so that was really important. I hope you guys saw that. I hope you guys didn't skip through the video, miss that, because that's a really important tip. All right. So now my goal is I'm going to be continuing progressing in the story until I get to a section of the game where it gives me a new monster. So down here, is going to be an Arthur that will pop up, and you click on him and you start the Arthur quest, and you get a free Arthur out of it, along with some evolution and ascension materials and stuff like that. So I'm going to progress through the game until I get to that point, and then we'll talk about him and why he's so important, and why when you go to the contract and you select Arthur, like this right here, or hold on, this just switched. There it is. The 9th stage of Arya Lake. Okay, so this is actually important. Here it is. So when you complete the 9th stage, which I think is the last stage, when you complete the last stage, defeat the last boss of Arya Lake, which is the 3rd story area, you get Water Arthur, and you start his quest. You get a free Nat 5 Water Arthur, but there's some important stuff about it. You actually don't want to do the quest. You get the Arthur for free, go ahead and use him and whatnot, but you don't actually want to complete all his quests. You don't want to Evo him. You don't want to use those resources, because you can complete the quest without using your Evo resources on the Arthur. You can just save them. I think they give you tickets. Okay, now they may have changed this with the most recent patch, because on the previous patch it was Fire Arthur, not Water Arthur. And when I look at the quests now, it's different. So hopefully you still get those Ascension materials. They give you tickets to ascend him for free, which was super nice. You got a free Evo 3 Arthur, and you didn't actually have to use any Arthur copies. Okay, so people were abusing this to get a free Nat 3 Light Arthur from the contracts, and it was super nice. So if they're not doing that now, you can still get your Light Arthur from the contract to Nat 3, or not, you can still get your Nat 5 Light Arthur from the contract at week 2. You can get him to Evo 3, but it will require a lot of gleams, and it will take a lot longer. But it's still possible, and I still recommend it. But I'm hoping that I read that wrong. I'm hoping that when we get to that Arthur quest, we will get those Evo tickets, and then we can just save them. Right? We can keep the Water Arthur it gives us for free, not evolve him using the tickets, save those tickets, and Evo the Light Arthur instead. So that's the trick. That's what's so important about the contract, and why I choose the Light Arthur, because you can actually use those tickets from the Arthur quest to get a free Evo 3 Nat 5 Light Arthur. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and finish up to Arya Lake chapter 9. Boss fight. We're going to finish that, start the Arthur quest, and then we'll resume from there. Alright guys, really quick, we are at the part of the quest where it wants us to do the Astromon League, which is basically PvP in the game for the first time. Right, so it asks you to set up a defense. I recommend setting up a 1-mon defense, okay? So that way you're more likely to be attacked, and it lowers your rank, which means you get more wins overall. If your rank stays high, you hit a point where you never get wins, okay? You lose and you lose and you lose until you get low enough in rank again to where you can win a couple. So you get less points overall, right? You get less points to spend here in this shop. And the goal is to farm these points, right? Your goal is not to climb the ranks, because you don't have the mons needed yet. It's going to be a long time before you have the mons necessary to climb ranks in PvP. So your goal right now is just to farm these points. So set a defense of 1 monster. You can just make that the 1 monster you got from selective summon. Put that in the leader spot, leave it there by itself, and let people farm you and lower your rank, okay? And then what I recommend doing is just coming in here, clicking on the first one, clicking on set up your team, right, where you're going to assault, and then click on auto battle, and then just leave all of these off. Okay, leave all of these off, set it for however many you want. I have 30, so I might just set it for 30 to use all of them today. So you're most likely just going to have 10, so you just leave it at 10, and it goes down the whole list. It goes down all of these one at a time. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. And then basically when you come back, when this is full again, you've got 10 more. You click on refresh, it'll be free, it won't cost anything, and then you just do it again. You just do 10 over and over. So you're guaranteed, even if you lose all of them, you're guaranteed at least 10 points, okay? You do that several times a day, every day, and it will be easy enough to get those rewards. Here in the PvP rewards, I recommend you save up 150, and you get these every week. Get your gleams every week, and you actually get to choose, okay? So first, your selective summon. I got a Water Persephone, right? So whatever your selective summon is, I recommend you choose the gleams that you need to get your selective summon up to Evo 2. Okay, get that first Nat 5, your best Nat 5, your favorite Nat 5 up to Evo 2, and that is the choice I recommend you make for your gleams starting out. Okay, after that, I recommend spending your gleams on the Holy Gleam. Save, okay? Don't spend it on the secret egg. Don't spend it on the light dark eggs. Get this gleam and then save, and it will take you a couple of weeks, okay? You'll buy this gleam every week, and it'll take you a couple of weeks. But I recommend you save up for the Holy Gleam. You get the Holy Gleam as fast as possible, and then you spend on whatever you want. Probably these light dark eggs would be next. Get the light dark eggs next, but get that Holy Gleam as fast as possible. That's going to help you raise your Nat 5 that you get from the contract. A light dark Nat 5 that you get from the contract, you can use it on it to get it to Evo 2 as fast as possible. So that's one of the only ways to get a Nat 5 to Evo 2 or even Evo 3 is through the use of gleams. And so these are extremely valuable. These Holy Gleams are unbelievably valuable for Nat 5s that are light or dark. Okay, so use that for those. So anyways, I'm going to do one match and then return to questing. So just wanted to show you guys that. Alright guys, we just finished Arya Lake. And for the last quest in Arya Lake, you get a variant Siren as a reward. I actually wanted to show you guys this. It's pretty important because Siren, the water Siren especially, is recommended as your starting healer for free-to-play players in the early game for your first Golem 8 team. I actually definitely recommend not doing this, okay? And the reason why is because they say you need a healer in order to, with your starting team, reliably clear Golems B8. That's not actually true. If you have a good enough gym quality, if you have the right wave clearers in your team, you don't need a healer at all. That being said, Wed Persephone is going to be perfect as a starting healer for my team because she's not a pure healer. Her ultimate skill is a wave clear ability, so that's going to help clear the waves. And she has a passive heal on her first skill, and if all we have to do is build her tanky, which makes her hard to kill in the first place, and second, heals the entire team every time she attacks, it's going to be the best of every world. It's going to be amazing for my starting Golems 18. If, however, you don't have Wet Persephone or a passive healer, do not use Water Siren as your starting healer for Golem B8. And the reason why is because of this skill right here. This sounds good, right? It keeps her alive, and it sounds great. The problem is it does not increase her SP, and if you're not lucky with blue orbs, when you attack your enemies, her heal is not going to charge. And I've mentioned this before, the main problem with healers in this game, if they don't increase their SP, is they rely on blue orbs to actually get their heal off. And Water Siren has this problem, guys. With my starting B8 team in Golems, I had a massive problem with Siren. I could not get her to keep my team alive. She wouldn't heal when I needed her to. It was very unreliable because her heal sometimes wouldn't charge at all. So I don't recommend Water Siren, guys. You need a healer that's either going to do a passive heal, or you need a healer that is going to boost their SP bar so they can reliably get this heal off when you need it, okay? So for those reasons, I don't recommend Siren in your starting B8 team. Alright, so we're going to skip that, and then the quest continues. Now let's go back to the airship, because I believe we can start our Arthur quest, right? Boom, there he is. He showed up. Okay, so we're going to skip. You guys can read that when it's your turn. You drag this sword up. He pulls it out of the stone, and you start the quest. This is stuck in the middle of the screen for some reason. Not sure why. Sometimes that happens, and I have to restart the game to get it to go away. That is a bug that I have noticed. Okay, so we're going to click on this. It's forcing you to this time, but later you might encounter other quests. To complete the quest or to progress the quest, all you have to do is click on it over here, and then you can complete it from this screen. Okay, so we're going to get the reward. Now, this is important because It doesn't necessarily tell you where to go to get these rewards after you get them from here, because they don't just go into your storage like everything else. They go into a special temporary storage in your mailbox. That's, for me, was a little more difficult to find than I would like. It was not intuitive. It took me a bit of searching, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys. Click on Get Reward, and it gives you Arthur. Okay? We'll skip the summoning, make it a little faster. And we have our free Nat 5 Arthur. He's balance type, really good starting unit. And the reason why he's a really good starting unit, in some ways better even than Fire Arthur for a beginning player, is because A, he's water, okay, which makes him perfect for your starting Golem team. Also, he's a wave clearer, guys. He hits the entire enemy team and he boosts his own SP bar by 50%. So this makes him an amazing wave clear for your starting Golem B8 team. I cannot express how happy I am that they chose to give starting players blue Arthur instead of red Arthur. I think this guy's going to be much better for your starting Golem team. He's an excellent wave clearer. You can use him to clear story even. He's going to be excellent for you. So really good for new players right there. Okay, so the next quest is upgrade a trinket. We did just get a trinket. We can go ahead and upgrade that to progress the quest. Then we have to use 50 energy. Then we have to complete floor 5 of the Starstone dungeon. And then we have to evolve an Astromon to evolution level 2. This is important. It says any Astromon. Now, this quest has changed after this latest patch. The patch that added the selective summon and also the clan festival, as well as the April Fools with all the funny looking characters. But with this latest patch, with the new onboarding for new players, this looks a little different. It used to say Arthur, I believe. Evolve Arthur to evolution level 2, and then down here evolve Arthur to evolution level 3. Also, I think the rewards for the previous quests were different. I really hope they still give you the item that allows you to evolve without copies. However, based on the wording, they may have changed it and that's no longer possible. I really hope that still exists. If it does, then there's going to be a really neat trick for Light Arthur in the contract that I can show you, where you don't evolve this Arthur that they just gave you. Instead, you save those evolution items or tickets and you use them for Light Arthur after you get him at the end of week 2. But that being said, if that's no longer a possibility, if those tickets no longer exist as part of this quest, then it's still a good idea for the contract to get all Arthurs, okay, because you do get an extra copy of Arthur from this quest here. So it's therefore much easier to fully evolve to to fully evolve to Evo 3 your Light Arthur, because you have a fire copy from the first contract, you have a water copy here from this quest, you have a dark copy from the last from the third contract, and then you have the light copy. So that's 4, and that's all you need to get a Nat 5 to Evo 3, guys. You just need 4 copies. You can use Water Gleams to get this guy to Evo 2, Fire Gleams to get Fire Arthur to Evo 2, and then you use Dark Gleams to get the Dark Arthur to Evo 2, and Light Gleams, or Holy Gleams, to get, not Holy Gleams, sorry, Holy Gleams are really special. You want to save those. Or Light Gleams to get, they might be Holy Gleams, not sure, but yeah, anyways, Light Gleams to get your Light Arthur to Evo 2, and then you can combine all of them to make your Light Arthur Evo 3. And you don't need the tickets to do that. That being said, it will take a lot longer, several months even. It will take you several months to get enough dark and light gleams to make that happen. But I still recommend that, and that's going to give you the best benefit from the contract, guys. So that's why I do recommend all the Arthurs for the contracts, and it's still a good idea because of this free copy of Arthur from this quest. It's still your best choice for the contract. That being said, I really hope we're going to find out later in this video series that these tickets still exist. So we're going to make sure in this video series that that's still a possibility. Okay, so let's go. Let's clear this stuff, get all this stuff. Look at all this stuff, guys. I still have a lot of gold. Okay, so I've completed a lot of these quests. I completed the Nez Pass here and the View missions. I spent 1 million gold. How did I spend 1 million gold? Well, I did it by increasing my gym quality. Okay, so I already increased my gym quality on my monsters quite a bit, and I spent 1,000,000 gold doing that, and they gave me some gold back. So I did some missions, also the level up package and the adventure package. You just come over here and complete them. You don't need to purchase these packages, by the way, to get these rewards. If you purchase these packages, you get additional rewards over here. However, everyone gets these rewards by default, even if they don't purchase the packages. Okay, so there's a lot of awesome rewards in this game that you just don't expect. Okay, so the capture, I get my first capture reward because it gave me a water siren. I captured one as part of the quest, and I also completed it, so that's my first capture reward. Now I just have to go back and capture a candle and a cocoa, and I will complete these capture rewards as well. So we're getting free gems everywhere, guys, left and right. We've already got 2,400 gems saved up. I have not spent gems on anything. Okay, I'm saving all my gems for the end of this video series. We're going to spend them all at once. Now, how do I get my Arthur? How do I get my trinket? All that. It doesn't show it here, right? There's no number showing you there's anything in the temp storage, right? Boom, there it is. My Arthur evidently goes to my monster box, but here's the trinket, okay? If you're looking for the trinket to complete that next quest for the Arthur quest, it's in the temp storage, okay? So go ahead and accept it, get it out of your temp storage, then come here, and then go ahead and equip it on your Arthur. All right. Now, who am I going to replace with Arthur? Because right now my current team is Wet Persephone. Like I said, I don't recommend actually raising and using Siren because she does a good job of keeping herself alive, but she doesn't really do much healing for your team. Wet Persephone, I'm using Fire Miho, basically. And I'm using Banshee, and then I'm using the Evo 3 Scorer, the Squirrel. Okay, I've got this set on him, which is Attack, HP, Crit. They're all +9 runes. And then over here, also all +9 runes. This is where I spent most of my gold. These are the starting runes they give you. Fully recommend using those on your monsters. You guys saw me +9 these already in the beginning of the video. Now, I put this set on my Banshee. Let's see the gems that he has. Unfortunately, I can't transfer them, so I'm not going to be using my Banshee anymore. Well, hold on. Will I? No. But for the sake of this video, so maybe I would because of this skill. I think I would rather use the Banshee because she increases her own SP, so she's more of a better wave clearer than Miho. Miho does not increase her own SP. So she's not as good of a wave clearer as Banshee. So normally I think I would use the Banshee, but for the sake of this video, you guys might not have a Banshee. You guys will definitely have a Miho. You will have your selective monster you got from your selective summon. You will have Arthur for free, and you will likely have an Evo 3 Squirrel for free. But you may not have Banshee. So I will go ahead and unequip these from Banshee and not use these anymore. So Banshee is no longer on the team. Sorry, girl. You're off the team. I don't need to remove that one. I'm not interested in keeping it. It can just disappear whenever. But unfortunately, I can't use those gems that I raised up on anyone. Let's see. Nope. 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 Can't really use them on anyone yet, including him because his gems are different. That being said, I do want him to have my best gem set. I think I will give him her gem set because she's only Evo 2 while he is Evo 3, so his stats are actually going to be higher than hers. So as you can see, actually, am I wrong? For now it looks like I might be wrong. Once she's Evo 3, her stats will be better, but it's going to take a long while to get her to Evo 3. But once she's Evo 3, she will have better stats than the squirrel. But for now, he's a balance type, so it doesn't make sense to put either HP or flat gems. And that's something I need to talk about in this video, guys, is gems and what to put on who. Okay, so you've got 4 types of monsters in the game. You've got balance types, which is an equal balance between all of your stats. HP, attack, defense, and recovery. In general, they're all going to be evenly balanced. Again, Arthur is balanced. Here we have an attacker type. Attacker types have more attack, right, than any other type of monster. They have more attack than balance types, tank types, or defender types. So if you have attack percentage gems, such as this one right here, you want to put your attack percentage gems on your attacker type mons. All right. Balance type monsters benefit pretty much equally between percentage gems and or percentage runes, whatever you want to call it. No, they're called gems. Yeah, they're called gems right here. Percentage gems and flat gems. All right. So until they're level 60, once you get an Evo 3 level 60 monster, then the percentage gems are a little bit better for balance mons because their stats are high enough to benefit from them. But up until that point, then flat gems are just as good, if not even better. So the change comes, or the difference comes from tank. Okay, so tank has higher HP stats than anyone else. So you want to put HP percentage runes on tank types, but not percentage attack, because their attack is so low. So you can put flat attack and flat defense on tank types, but you don't want to put flat HP on tank types. You'd rather use percentage HP on tank types. So you're trying to put the correct gems either flat or percentage based on the type of monster they are. Tanks get percentage HP and flat attack and defense. Here we go balanced. Could be either way, right? Could be flat or percentage because they're going to have balanced stats. They benefit pretty much equally from both up until very high level when their stats are high enough to benefit more from percentage. So gems, balance types are more flexible between flat and percentage. Here we go with attack. You want attack percentage over flat attack. Here with balanced could be either or, and again with balanced could be either or. But we know that because her heal requires max HP, then we're building her for max HP. So this is a flat HP set. The Gem of Tenacity set bonus gives plus 2500 HP. Later we get access to a plus 20% HP gem set, and I'll switch to that. That will be much better than a flat 2500. But for now, this is all we've got that has HP on it, so we're going with that set. Okay? So let's see what we can put on him. We don't really have a whole lot left that's really good, except for maybe a defense set. We got HP, crit rate, and attack. Okay, so we're going to put this defense set on him. And it's going to boost his defense and make him more survivable. Okay, so he's a balance type. So again, he benefits equally from flat and percentage. We're going to stick with the same set so we can get that defense bonus. Early game it's going to help. Later on it won't help that much, but early game it is going to make a difference. So I want HP and attack. We'll go ahead and give him flat attack, and then we'll give him a flat HP. Alright, so I'm going to raise these to +9, and then I'll go ahead and continue questing and making progress. But this video is now 47 minutes long, and I think that'll do it for day number 2. I'll continue making progress. Basically, the next time you guys see me will be day 3, of course. But in that video, I'm going to be talking about making progression in... Here we go. I'm going to talk about building your team and making progression towards the true mid game, right? So story is easy for the most part, but you need to progress down to B10 and start farming this so you can make your monsters level 60. It requires a lot of farming, and this is actually a difficult dungeon for an early game player. If you don't have the right monsters, the right gems, right, the right monster setup, then you will fail and you won't be able to farm this. So I need to talk about Starstone Dungeon, getting the right team for that, and then your element dungeons. You also need to be able to farm your element dungeons, so that is very important. You need these resources specifically. Element dungeons and Starstone dungeons are what you need to farm to make your monsters higher level, right? So right now we've got 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, and 6-star. As you ascend them, their max level goes up. So you need these resources to take them up to level 60, which is the goal, right? That's the goal. So we're going to talk about progressing there and being able to level up your Astromons and ascend them. We're going to talk about, of course, everyone's favorite monster, the most recommended monster for every new player in the entire game, Mona. You get her at Pagos Coast. So Mona is very recommended, but there's something special about Mona that is not really talked about in some of the older YouTube videos for new players for Monster Super League, and that I'm going to talk about, and it's going to be new information that's not really presented so far because some things have changed. Okay, so she's still great, but there's something specific I need to show you and talk to you about when we get to that point. So I'll also be talking about that. And then I'm also going to talk about over here the Ancient Dungeon when we start doing the Golems. Okay, this is where Golem B8 is, and that's going to be the big one. So if we don't cover that in the next video, then we'll probably cover that in the video after that. But this video series is going to cover, and I'm going to be trying to condense it, and after I'm done talking about stuff, I'm not just going to be uploading videos of me grinding story mode forever or grinding golems. So I'm going to be trying to present information for you guys that's useful and usable as new players. But this video series is actually going to cover about a 2-week period because I need to do the first 2 contracts, and that's going to take 2 weeks to complete. But it's not going to be 14 videos. I'm not going to do a video every day for 14 videos. Some of those are going to be condensed later on. So you might see a video towards the end of this series that combines, 5 or 6 days. Because all I'm doing is grinding and increasing what you already know I'm doing. I'm not really making a whole lot of progress that needs to be talked about. I'm just grinding and getting more stuff. So I'll be trying to condense that. That being said, that's what you can expect over the next couple of videos is the dungeons, grinding to ascend your characters, Mona here at Pagos Coast, building your team so you can start doing Golem B8. Alright? And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out the series. I hope this helps new players for Monster Super League to enjoy the game as much as possible, to not feel like they have to spend money to make progress and be efficient in the game and have a lot of fun. So I hope this gets you guys interested in Monster Super League. I hope it helps all you new players have a good time and make efficient use of your resources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.